Hello guys, this is the second lecture in enzyme-based molecular diagnosis. Here we will discuss the second enzyme, that is monoamine oxidase. So as far we have seen in our first lecture, uh, glucose oxidase enzyme and its use in molecular diagnosis. Hope you have understood the enzyme and how it is used in diagnosis. So this is the second enzyme. We will see the what is the enzyme in the introduction. So monoamine oxidase are the class of flavoenzymes capable of catalyzing a variety of amines group such as neurotransmitters dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, tyramine, phenylethylamine, and some exogenous amines including some neurotoxins like MPTP. So currently two isozymes are there, that is monoamine oxidase 1 and monoamine oxidase 2. So these enzymes are identifiable due to selective difference in between substrate and the inhibitor. Monoamine oxidase A can be inhibited by low concentrations of chlorosylin and preferably catalyzes 5-HT or norepinephrine. Here is the diagram of these two enzymes, monooxidase A and monoamine oxidase B. So in monoamine oxidase B selectively catalyzes phenylthylamine and benzyl amine and is inhibited by selegiline. So these enzymes serves as like tyramine, dopamine, tryptamine. These all serves as a substrate for both enzymes. So this is very much important class of oxidases in our blood. If you see the distribution in the monoamine oxidase enzyme, it is widely distributed in the tissue and organs in the body, especially in the liver, kidney, stomach and small intestine. It is mainly located on the outer surface of mitochondrial membrane and is tightly bound to the membrane. The flavin adenine dinucleotide is used as a coenzyme and get reduced by giving an electron for the metabolic reaction. Another type exists in connective tissue without FAD, pyridoxal phosphate as a coenzyme. The activity of monoamine oxidase in brain tissue increases with the age and glial cells increases. So this is very much important point. If there is a glial cell increase in the brain and glial cell increases with the age also and in certain neurological disorders also, and that leads to increase in monoamine oxidase. We will see further in the diagnosis. Monoamine oxidase can decompose catecholamine hormone and indirectly reflect cardiac sympathetic nerve function. It has been confirmed that relative molecular masses of MAOs, that means monoamine oxidases, from different sources differ greatly, like 1 lakh for further smaller and up to the 110 lakhs for the greater one. So these molecular masses are in terms of Daltons. So what are the catalytic mechanism? Studies have shown that the amino acid residues histidine 382, that means in the protein at the number of 382 amino acid the histidine is placed, and threonine 153 in MAOB are essential for catalysis, while phenylalanine 208 in monoamine oxidase A and isoleucine 199 in monoamine oxidase B determines the substrate specificity. This evidence shows that there is also a cysteine residues in the active sites of monoamine oxidase, which may also be related to catalysis. You all know that cysteine residues is the only amino acids who contain sulfate group, and so it is very much helpful for contact or substrate and enzyme complex formation. At present, there are three approaches of the catalytic mechanism, that is single electron transfer, hydrogen atom transfer, and nucleophilic or bipolar mechanism. So these three, we are not going in detail with these three mechanisms, but you should know the what different catalytic mechanisms are there. Catalytic mechanisms means in the metabolic pathway in a biochemical reaction, when A is react with the B and it produces C. So at that time A and B get fused together and there is a formation or transition of either A or B and it becomes C. So during that period, some of the component transfer the electron, like some component is some reactions is with the single electron transfer mechanism, some are hydrogen atom transfer mechanism, and some are highly nucleophilic or bipolar mechanism transfer. So these are the catalytic mechanism. So in the next slide, we will see how we are going to detect these monoamine oxidase concentration in the blood or in the body. The first method is aldehyde benzoquinone calorimetric method. In this method, if you see the name, the calorimetric method, and somehow it is the method which is related to the spectroscopic methodology. You will see that where we are using visible spectroscopy, that means the calorimetric method. So this method produces the brownish red color under alkaline conditions by monoamine oxidase oxidation of benzyl alanine and the formation of aldehydazine with 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. So this is the reaction. The calorimetric determination of this product, the formation of aldehyde with 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine, is determined in the presence of 470 nanometer to calculate the concentration of MAO. So this is very much important. And the second method is continuous monitoring. So why this continuous monitoring is, we will see in the diagnosis method why these two different methods are there. It is the first method was calorimetric and the second is also same, but it is the continuous monitoring. So in this method, the method is to catalyze benzyl amine to produce ammonia by monoamine oxidase enzyme. The ammonia generates glutamic acid in presence of alpha ketoglutarate, NADPH, GLDH, and NADPH reduces to NADP+, which causes the decrease in the absorbance at 340 nanometer. So monitoring the decrease rate can determine the monoamine oxidase activity in the sample. This method is quick, simple, and suitable for automated analysis. It can reduce the human error and has good accuracy, precision, and suitable for most of the clinical laboratories all over the world. So this continuous monitoring method is very much helpful in checking whether patient is increasing its disorder or disease level or toxicity level in the blood, or the cells are generating or degenerating themselves to producing MAO quantity in the blood. So that is continuous monitoring is very helpful. In the clinical application, the level of serum monoamine oxidase activity can reflect the degree of liver fibrosis. So this is very much important point. For what reason, which disease we are going to monitor with the help of MAO? The liver fibrosis, and is an important indicator for diagnosis of liver cirrhosis. The positive rate of monoamine oxidase activity increased in the liver cirrhosis patients was above 80%, and the highest value is up to 3.5 times the control value. So you can see that how much percentage or how much multifold the monoamine oxidase enzyme increase in the patient who is suffering with liver cirrhosis. The diabetes mellitus, even though congestive heart failure, can be a secondary to hepatic fibrosis due to liver stagnation as well as increased in human monoamine oxidase activity. Thyroid hyperfunctions may be due to the decomposition and synthesis of fibrosis tissue. So these are all other diseases which are related to the liver fibrosis. So ultimately the liver fibrosis is the very much important diseases which we are monitoring it with the help of monoamine oxidase measurement activity. The patients with the primary liver cancer or secondary liver cancer, teratoma, biliary cirrhosis, or schistosomiasis, cirrhosis, chronic cholestatic cirrhohepatitis had no change in the activity. So like these diseases is not going to show us the, that means monoamine oxidase are not useful. The enzyme monitoring is not useful in these diseases. So only liver fibrosis or liver cirrhosis is actually very much important disease where we are using this enzyme with a spectroscopic method or calorimetric method. Thank you.